I think there's little doubt. Obviously, people have had a lot of concern regarding consumer trends and where people are in terms of what kind of money we're spending. Well, needless to say, here we have a lovely article with a bunch of data from Adobe, which is pretty well showing that we're on track for one of the biggest holiday spending seasons ever, and it's pretty fantastic for us. So, um, let's go ahead and look some of this from Sarah Perez here. You know, I had Sarah in Tampa. You already know it. She's in Tampa. Um, so it looks like, just from what this data from Adobe Analytics already, as of Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. Consumers have already spent around $50 billion online since the start of November. And that is excluding, that's prior to any Thanksgiving or any Black Friday deals or anything like that, which is representing a 15.8% year over year increase, which is crazy. That alone is just enough to say that, well, people clearly are, they're spending more, and I don't think there's any denying that. This is a very, very big time for spending. Obviously, the holiday season, people are going to be buying stuff for Christmas and whatever else it might be. And I think this is a good sentiment of how the economy is doing as a whole and how people feel about their dollars, if they're okay with spending them. I think there is definitely some good consumer confidence here, and that's why you see an increase in terms of this. Then, obviously, I think the turn after that, we need to look at look at this. How much are consumers spending? 50 a billo. That's right. Predicted 143 a billion, which is wild. And prior to that, for this month through Black Friday and Cyber Monday, it was $126 billion spent, and we're projected for 143.7 billion this year, which is fantastic. And I think there's a lot of it through. I mean, Black Friday starts. There's no such thing as Black Friday anymore. I mean, sales start as early as Wednesday this year. You know, the day before Thanksgiving, even they were starting this. And this is all this data here is collected from Adobe Analytics, which is from 80 of the top 100 retailers. Obviously, the ones I would pinpoint here, Walmart specifically, which is a stock that has had quite a big run up. If we're looking year to date on this guy, it's already up 28%, which is very big for Walmart standards. They're not necessarily a company I would consider growth. I mean, if you think about it from here, December 2014 to let's say around December of 2018, you really only see a growth around 10% even over a 4-year period, and then this past year we've seen 30% growth. And if we're looking max, you can even see that trend a little bit more of this stagnation, pretty well stagnation here, and then all of a sudden, wowee, what's going on here? Some wild stuff, that's all I can tell you. Very impressive. I love it. Love to see it. We have Target, another one of the biggest retailers out there. And this is yet another one. If I'm looking 1 year out on this guy, I mean, what do you want me to say? Things up 78 or 77%? Yikes. I mean, that's big. And again, this is, you see a lot of this in the 2000s. Not insane movement as much as what you're seeing now. Because just from 2017 June until now represents an increase of 146%, and that's just 2 years, 2.5 years. It's wild stuff. And then obviously you can't go without talking about Amazon here. This guy on a 1-year basis, needless to say, not much going on here. So I think this is one of the stocks that has the most to gain from this personally. If they post a fantastic Q4, this could be big for them. Obviously, if we're looking 5 years out, this is a ridiculous 480% increase. But if we're looking just off a year, I mean, the stock hasn't moved all that much. It hasn't moved all that much really at all. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. Obviously, I think there's a little bit of an increase in terms of their same-day delivery. It'll be good to look at those numbers of who's wanting to partake in such things. And when that rolls out, obviously, there's a lot more to Amazon than just their online sales, but it is a big portion of it. And as you see, an increase around 14% year over year expected. It's pretty wild. It's definitely pretty wild. So, as of this morning, which is Thanksgiving morning, which is all these Black Friday deals, $240 million have been spent online, representing a 19.3% growth year over year, on track for a $2.9 billion day. That is wild stuff. Wild stuff. Just look at these lovely, lovely sales. So we've had a couple days here over this period where we're looking for some major sales days. We just have a huge slate coming up of just sales and sales and sales. Estimate is a 14% year-over-year growth, and that is the forecast. So there's expected growth in Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and Cyber Monday all. That is just crazy. Black Friday expected to grow 20.5%. Thanksgiving's Day sales expected to grow 19.7%, and Cyber Monday sales are expected to increase by 19.1% year over year. That is just crazy numbers. Shoot. And if we look at more of these details here, mobile shopping this year, 34.3% growth in e-commerce sales being made via smartphone. Obviously, there's a lot of companies that just make it super easy for you right now to buy stuff on your phone, which is a good reason why people spend more. If it's as easy as unlocking your smartphone and going on to Amazon or Walmart.com and just ordering something right from your phone or right off an app, it's so much easier to do that. So it's pretty crazy. 25% year-over-year increase in time spent mobile shopping expected. Shoppers will spend 2.2 billion hours globally outside of China across shopping apps. That is just insane. Other notable trends, buy online, pickup in-store shopping. 61% will take advantage of buy online, pickup in-store. Needless to say, it's something I just partook in. Just purchased a product online and picked it up in store in a Target. So guess what? It's a nice, convenient service. It's a very convenient service. Email promotions have led to 16.5% of all online revenue, up 10% year over year. Paid search accounted for 23.7% of sales, while social media led to just 2.8%. So social media, not as big of a factor there when you think about it. Shoppers are buying Apple AirPods, no shocker. AirPods are going to be a huge seller this year. Got to look at Apple stock for that when they give the numbers. AirPods are going to be big this year, and there's no denying it. They were big last year. They're going to be big this year. Obviously, there's Apple laptops. We call those Macs. Don't need to call them laptops. Samsung and LG TVs. Frozen 2 toys. No denying that. It'll be good to see where Disney lands their next quarter in terms of their sales and other merchandise, as in other revenues such as toys. LOL surprise dolls. They're a big thing right now. Nerf toys. Pick Me Pops. I don't know what a Pick Me Pop is. I do know what Fortnite is because we love Fortnite. And games like Pokemon Sword and Shield, Jedi Fallen Order, and Madden 20. This is a piece of garbage game, so no one should be buying that. But people will because they love buying Madden. And I probably will too at some point. I'm sorry. I always buy Madden when it gets down to $20. It's just, I do it all the time. I'm sorry. So yeah, obviously, it's definitely something to consider here. I think this extra spending is a fantastic sign of where the economy's at, and I think it's great for these stocks to take a look at, because these will be very strong stocks, at least for the next, at least foreseeable year, bouncing off of this increase in revenue and everything you can expect from it. It's just fantastic. It's good to see, and it'll be good to see where these these few stocks come into play and the product specifically. And if you think about like a Facebook, in terms of their, my number one on things that I want list, which will I purchase it or not? I don't know. I want an Oculus Quest. Obviously, Oculus owned by Facebook, but how many people are going to be getting virtual reality? That's going to become a more just regular item for people to be getting. There's also the Oculus Go, which is a discount, cheaper model, which a lot of people probably will be partaking in for Christmas. There's just so many good gifting items right now. And you talk about Apple AirPods. There's so many products that are just wonderful for people right now, and people will be buying them. And that's where all the spending's led to increase. It's going to be good to see all these stocks, see where they go. I think it's going to be a good holiday season. Historically, we have a pretty weak December and January. That's just kind of how stocks love to roll. But not this year. We're going to hope for good. Let's do it, baby.